So I'm definitely skipping around. I did a lot more trimming on my rocker, aka my floor extension. Skipped over to figure out what I'm gonna do with the metal that's up inside of here. That made me a template. Yeah, because if you remember, there's a gap. There's nothing for me to weld these pinch welds to. There's no backing, so it's just gonna be a hole if I don't do it. There's just a hole. This part of metal is supposed to go all the way across. So that's what this template's gonna be. Cut out for the gas neck. This little section is gonna be, you can see my mark, goes up and then it goes up in here and then it goes all the way up to the top. How I'm gonna weld that, have no idea yet. This has got like a bevel to it and it cuts out. Got me a piece of scrap metal. I'm gonna make it work. Here's a hack for you. When you wanna get a line to bend, but you don't have a bend press or whatever, what you do is you take a cutoff wheel, you find your line, and you just scribe it, but you don't go all the way through the metal. I don't know if you can tell, but I started bending it just a little bit, then I was like, let me make a video. But when you start bending it, if you want to stay flat, and that'll stop bending. It's probably gonna split on the ends, but that's all right, cause that's all right. We got a welder. So this is gonna be come on, one-handed. I can do it. Close enough idea. So I got it in line with that body line, which is the wheel well. And this is gonna flap up to the outer wheelhouse. The inner wheelhouse. No, outer wheelhouse. Literally just see me folding it. Boom. 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 I have to bend that out because now that wants to bow in, but I can put a relief cut in here somewhere, fold it back out, and then I'll just stitch weld my relief cut. Damn, the inside looks fucking terrible. Same thing over here. This one's starting to bow in. Not where I want it to be, but you can literally sit there and tack that. Put my relief cut, fold this whole section back over, tack that, and then keep bending. But that's a little hack for you. You see what I'm talking about, how it's bowed now. So if I put a relief cut in this panel, probably right here, because that's where the smallest point is, I'll be able to fold that back. And then I'll just have to stitch weld it or slide a sliver of metal in there. But that's right there is what I need. This little spot will be a spot where I can bolt the fuel neck up to. This top half is going to go all the way up into the strut tower, so there's no gap. And I'll weld that in. I will weld that in and seam seal all up inside. But I gotta do that step. So I got that piece in. I basically got this figured out, how to make a relief cut here. Like I said, I had already cut the bottom section. That what I did, I feel like a hack with this car, but it's all for the good. Once all the welding starts happening, it'll all make sense and it'll all look decent. So instead of having the blue panel, my floor extension on the floor, because technically the floor, if you're looking at this underneath the car, if this is straight up and down, the floor actually goes up on an angle. So I was like, all right, let's try this. Let's bolt the floor extension to the rocker itself. Well, I just zip screwed it. And then what I'll do, I'll clean this edge. Once I get it up on there, I'll clean the edge, this edge. I'll push it to where it needs to be, and then I'll start tack welding that on. Then I can take the zip screws back off, clean this side, whatever, and then I can put the rocker on itself. So what my thoughts are is, because since this is going to be down, the floor extension piece that I made is going to be down all the way to the base metal, I'll make this cut real clean. I'm going to weld the blue panel directly to the rocker. No gaps. And then I still have this, all the parts out of that car. I got some angle iron. Call it what you want. I'm gonna put angle iron on there. One way or another, I probably weld it right to the edge. I have to bow it up a little bit. But I was like, man, it'd be great to have your pinch welds never fucking crinkle on you. If I crinkle this, something's wrong. That's where we're at. That's the plan. I still gotta clean up all the pieces of metal. The body's kind of cleaned up. I gotta do that spot up there. I gotta clean that up. I'm gonna weld that in before. I'm gonna weld this doohickey in. There is gonna be a patch that I don't have to make on the front edge. Because I cut this out, there's another panel that went inside and rolled upwards. And then the floor, it's a weird concept, but when I get to that point, I'll explain it. But I'm gonna have to put like a flat piece of metal to attach from the floor to basically the piece that I made on here. Clean it up some more, put some rust inhibitor, self-etching primer in there, weld it up, paint it up, seam seal it. I'm gonna be working. If it's 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock again tonight, that's what time is. That's what it is. I want to get this thing on the road. So I also got some meta glasses that literally just arrived to the house. So I'm gonna start doing some POVs, some better POVs. I'll start wearing them when I go drifting too. I think it'd be great to have them here while I do work and showcase what I do. A lot of people, everybody drive a car. Some people get in accidents, but nobody knows how their car gets fixed. They drop it off, they pay their deductibles, and then they pick it up. So Just trying to show y'all, you know, what I do. I still got a gap in here, but you see how it's sitting nice and flush to it. I think my only problem is I'm gonna have to I might have to make another relief cut in here so it sits flush with the fuel neck. I did throw the quarter back on just to make sure everything lines up. I left those, I left these holes, that hole's kind of lined up. That hole's kind of lined up. All the spot welds that came out are lined back up, so that's a good thing. Pinch welds touching, those are lined up. I still have to make a patch here before I put the quarter on. I'm gonna bang this down and flat, and I'm gonna weld that to it, which is part of the outer wheelhouse. But if you look, I don't know, hold on, let's see. I have enough room to be welding stuff. I'm gonna have to clean up all the wheelhouse. Got something to pinch weld a little bit. What I still might do is take a panel or a patch piece and put it in here and run it all the way down. I don't know if I even just showed you that. Because if you look on the other side, other side is one whole piece. Well, we got our work cut out. I think we're in the right spot though. So get back to it, I guess. Not I guess. I'm getting back to it, dog. All right, I think I got a lot of progress done. Some things happened. Remember when I was telling you, you gotta make a cut line, don't cut too deep? Well, I had to bend it too many times because that was overlap, so I made my slit and then I tried to get it out and then I bent it all the way down and it tore basically all the way through. So I got some stitch wheels on the inside and on the outside. Actually the outside's all the way through and through. Welded, plug welded as much as I could. I cut and ground it. This has got to get bent just ever so slightly to get on top. I cleaned up those. I cleaned up that good enough so I can weld it. It's time for dinner though. I've been here for too long. And then back on this slit. So when I put the outer wheelhouse on, I'll literally have the outer wheelhouse on top of this. So I'm gonna run some bead on the top in this little corner or inside, and then on the bottom side, I also cleaned it so I can run some weld on that too. Didn't clean the bottom side, but I'll get there. I'll do that once it's on the car. Still need to do this little section back here, but I want to get the outer wheelhouse on. At least tack weld it on. I don't want to take this thing off again. Shouldn't have to. I know I don't have to do the rocker. Especially because this part has to get welded down to the bottom. Actually, probably should have got welded. Because that's this piece. I can slide it in here though. But yeah. Dress some welds up. I'm gonna spray some stuff way up in here. What's it called? Some rust inhibitor. And go from there. So my panel that I had, a piece, I ain't gonna use it. I'm just gonna make my own. A little something like that. I'm gonna cut it shorter. That gives me rigidity all the way around. Already got those welds done underneath. I'm actually not gonna tack weld this. I'm gonna seam seal this and paint in here, and then I'm gonna put this piece on. But I'm gonna go cut me another panel of this because it's only big enough. So that's all it is. Scrap metal out back. Literally just trying to get stuff done. I had a thought. I have to do this. Because God forbid something hits the quarter panel and shoves it up. There's nothing that's holding like the main structure to the outer wheelhouse. It would literally just crumble. So had to do something. I made a template. I didn't really like it. I cut a rack of shit off. As you see, I had to cut and fold, and now I got a big gap down here. I might throw a piece of metal on the edge just to bring it in. I already painted it on the inside with some rust inhibitor. I really don't have no access to get to it now that I think about it, because there was a hole right here, but all that hole was kind of rusted. The whole bottom's kind of rusted. I can't get to it from the inside, so what I might actually do is literally just leave this cap open, and then I'll spray on the inside. All the welds on the sides will be done. But I had to do something. It's not original. Not this piece. This piece could probably go on there now, but I hacked that all up when I took it off the car. Thinking I didn't need it, but here I am needing it. So, you know, had to make some things happen. Go ahead and finish welding this. Haven't really done a time lapse of anything today, but plug welds, stitch weld all the way across. You can see I welded the panel that's underneath that back piece. Goal today, get this finished welded and painted. So I'm right there. I'm almost done with it. Once I weld this up, I'll clean all the welds on the bottom side and start working on the rocker. Man, at this point, I feel like I've taken this same video like, I don't know, 15 times. Progress has been made. All welded up. You can call it bubblegum welds. Some of them look good. Those look decent. They're all right. It ain't going nowhere. There's some gaps. I'm not filling that. I'm not filling that one. There's a gap right there. I'm not filling, I literally just wanted to make a last video before I started painting some stuff. Up in here. There's tape there because there's a hole and I gotta go back and weld and I don't want to take it off. Like the whole edge, I welded up. Made a little cutout for the fuel neck. So the fuel neck could still possibly come out if I need it. That's it. I put that bolt hole back in there. See the tape, that tape right there. I gotta fill that hole There's some rust up there. I'm gonna take all the seam sealer off at some point. Weld it down in here. Yep, okay. This whole thing is on and welded. I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I might just say F it and leave it. Focus. I accidentally tacked the bolt in. I was like, well, this is in for forever, so welded around it. And then you can see how far I came in to weld. So I had to pull the carpet up, move a couple wires back. And on the back side, the bottom side, you can see I welded this whole cap in. Got a hole here, where am I at? Hole here, still gotta fill. There's a hole. I'm gonna cut the nut off the back for the fender mount. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna cut that nut out. That's got a bolt in it. Redo that. That weld spot or rust spot, I'm gonna leave that too because the rocker goes over top of it. Is gonna be what it is. Kind of stupid. Definitely forgot to put some rust inhibitor in here. So yeah, spray some goodies in there as best as I can. If I really have to, I'll cut this hole out bigger and spray through there, or see if I can find a nozzle tip. But a lot of welding, a lot of cutting. This whole gusset area, so you gotta remember, I put the whole backing piece that goes all the way across. It actually goes across, this piece of metal goes all the way across. And then I folded it up to have this flange, which is that flange. Made that. Then I put the outer wheelhouse on. Then I was like, I have to attach something to this main structure. So, I won't say hacked it up, but I cut some stuff up and made it work. Put some tape on there because I don't want to clean up paint. So I'm about to just paint all this black with the rust inhibitor. And then don't spray the BCs. Okay. Get all up in here. Oh boy, getting high off the fumes for real. Oops. Let's go check. I think I primed it. I did primer it. I primered it. Yeah, that's primer. We're gonna let that flash, and then I'll come back. I'm gonna do up there too.